All right, let's get started with the VOD review. First up, your build. I took a peek at this earlier. I noticed you're actually playing both High Voltage and Magi Spark, but not Time Loop for Arcane Debilitation. So I'd recommend dropping one of these talents and playing Time Loop because the Arcane Debilitation debuff you get from it is actually really strong. This is like whenever you missile someone, it puts a debuff on the target that stacks up to 50, and it increases the damage that target takes by a ton from all your abilities. So I'd recommend, yeah, not bypassing this talent. There's two options you can play in terms of talents. Is you could play the Magi Spark signature spell build, which is a pretty big single target burst, or you could play the high voltage splinters build. So you just drop Magi Spark and go high voltage and go shifting shards instead of signature spells. So this is like more damage overall, but the other one's more burst. But make sure you play time loop because this is you're losing a lot of damage not playing this, in my opinion. Um, and everything else looks good. I noticed you're not playing Ice Wall. Ice Wall can be really good in solo shuffle to make plays and score kills and force extra defensive cooldowns from the enemy team. But it's more of like a positional thing and very situational. But you don't have to play it. I think playing Master Shepherd's totally fine. You can opt to also drop Master Shepherd and Ice Wall and play the short Greater Invis if you find you are getting trained really hard and if you want to be extra tanky. If you do find yourself dying even after training CDs well. So that's also an option. But anyways, in this lobby, we got SP Windwalker, Feral, Arcane Mage. So double melee, double caster with double Disc Priest. Let's see what you do here. I do see your globals on the left side, which will make it easier for me to review this gameplay. Let me just hide that so it doesn't overlap. It's really good that you're getting your barrages out. You're already stacking up your arcane tempos. Every barrage is giving you 2% haste, stacking up to 10%, right? So you alter, you kite away. This is really good. Uh, General mindset here, by the way, is you have two options. You can either choose to just go the SP and send all your damage on the SP while kiting and controlling the Windwalker. Or if they do go you, you can choose to just kite. This map is kind of decent as long as you stay downstairs. You can, if they go you, you can just do laps around this big pillar downstairs and just keep kiting in circles against the Windwalker, and it forces the enemy healer to open a lot, which will allow your priest and feral to get CC easy, while you're avoiding the most damage and lining the SP. So those are your two options. I think if I were you, I would start the SP, see if I can get like an early disperse, and then go from there. But anyways, here you already trade out your altar. You have your tempo stack. So let's see. You should try to get out your surge here ASAP. Start casting surge. Good. You get the surge off on the Windwalker. You barrage touch. Good. I like how you barrage before your touch to reset your tempo stacks. Because touch is going to give you 4 charges instantaneously anyways. You combo that with your palm. Let's see how your burst goes here. Send your missiles. Arcane blast. He ports. So you swap the other guy. Get your blasts out. So one big thing is when you do play Arcane Time Loop with your Arcane Debilitation stacks, you want to try to chain as many missiles into that target as possible before you send your Palm Blast barrages for the most damage, because that Arcane Debilitation stack's really high, and it increases the damage you do to everything. So let's see, just as an example, I think I have a target dummy here. Turn it. Can I place that? Okay, cool. So you get your barrages out, right? Obviously, you know, get your Evo out. Let's surge. Okay, we're gonna touch. And check out these Arcane Debilitation stacks. It's stacking up more and more and more the more missiles you do. See, it goes up to 52, and it makes the damage taken by your missiles, barrage, and blast by up to 50%. So instead of just sending one missiles and then blast, barraging, try to get as many missiles as possible on the target, then send your blast barrages, because you're actually going to be missing out on a lot of damage if you're just sending things too early. So like, let's just go back here in terms of min-maxing. So you do your surge, you do your touch, missiles, crank your missiles. And then again, like I said earlier, I think starting SP is better because if you send all your touch and stuff on the monk, he can just pour it away, whereas SPs lack mobility, so they're kind of stuck in the middle of the map. So right here, if you send your touch on the priest, you kind of just be stuck there, and you could probably chain 3 missiles into Palm Blast, Barrage, and you could maybe force a lot more that way. But regardless, you force PS from the enemy team, so that's totally fine. They go you here. You do have Trinket, which you use, and then you press Greater Invis. That's good. So your Greater Invis is 60% damage reduct, right? Ideally, in terms of trading, though, I would say Greater Invis should be. It's a really strong defensive cooldown, but I think it should be last resort if you want to purely min max. I think sending your mirror image early is best with your altar and even mass barrier. Because Greater Invis is the more like an oh shit button that you use last resort. This button also gets reduced. The cooldown gets reduced every time an image dissipates. So the sooner you send this, the better. Because even though it's a 2 minute cooldown, it's actually realistically only like a 1 minute or if even a 50-second CD if you shift it back. So you should try to get this out because then you'll get another one ASAP, and that's like 25% damage reduction for 5 hits. Just if we're talking min maxing defensive trading. I like that you are getting your spell seals off. I would try to prio getting that PI off though. You're doing a pretty good job keeping your tempo stacks up for the haste buff. You're barraging a lot, which is giving you the sprint with chrono shift and slowing your enemy. So right here we do our second touch go. It looks like this is. And then we got a full sheep on the priest. I'm gonna go back and watch this part again. So clone Windwalker. We touch the SP. We get a free sheep on the priest. Nice. Chain those missiles. Chain those missiles. I would have kept sending the rest of your missile stacks for disperse here. But you force disperse anyways. That's really good. Gets clone low. Ooh, also make sure you send both your your palm stacks here. If we're talking truly min-maxing, see how your palm is grayed out right here? You still have one charge. So make sure you, whenever you palm, just press palm twice. Because what happens is your palm doesn't go on cooldown until both stacks are soaked. So what happens is like your touch and palm get desynced, which is not ideal in terms of min-maxing your damage throughout the course of an entire round. Because I think, yeah, you use it now. So look at your touch CD's 21 seconds, palm is 44. So it's like halved, right? So make sure to keep those together because they're the exact same cooldown. You want to chain them together every time. Because now what happens is your next go, you'll have touch, but not palm. So it's kind of going to be hard to min-max. And right here, though, this is going really good, though, because the priest has no disperse. SP has no disperse. You force both PSs. They probably do have 2 life swaps still, I think, unless I missed one. There's a dome from your SP. So this is going actually not bad at all. At this point, I would try to hard commit the SP, though, since his disperse is on CD. This is a really good ult there. Get the DB. I would even like just sheep the monk off myself right there at this point. You do have surge now. Ooh, you did send your touch without surge, which is probably not ideal. So what I said earlier is your touch is 45 seconds, right? Same with your palm, and then your surge, your biggest burst is 90 seconds. So your first go, you'll get to use surge, touch, palm together, but then your second go, your surge will still be on cooldown, so you'll send a touch palm go. And then your third go, you'll have surge back up. Then you'll have a surge go. So that's how you want to ideally min-max. Is your first go, you press all 3. Second go, it's touch palm. Third go, it's surge, touch palm again. So you want to try to like sync those up as much as possible. So that way they're up. It kind of flows, right? Your offensive goes kind of flow. So right here, instead of touching, what you do for your third go, I would try to get surge off first before you touch here. Because it's a lot harder to get surge off. So I would surge, then touch, and then send my missiles, and then send palm blasts. It would be like min-max because right now you're doing a touch go, but without your surge up, right? So just remember, I actually have a notepad here too. Let me open that up. You can write it down. So first go, surge, touch. We can name it Magi. Surge, touch, and Magi, palm. Second go, it's gonna be no surge, just Magi, palm, because surge is still on CD. And third go, surge, Magi, palm again, and then it just so on so forth. Like fourth go, it's gonna be Magi, palm, since you won't have surge in the fifth. It's kind of gonna look like this. You want to try to chain your goes like this as much as possible, which is why it's so important for your CDs to not get desynced. Because again, surge is 90 seconds, touch of Magi, 45, which is half of surge, and then palm 45. So just try to sync these up as much as possible if you want to min-max. Because what happens now is it's going to be a little awkward. Now you have surge, but you're not using it. You want to like put it on CD, right? But we got the sheep on the disc. SP has no D, and you get the kill anyways. So it totally works out. But those are little things that you can min-max. And the higher the rating you get to, it's going to be more and more important to min-max your burst windows. So just something to keep in mind. And then same with like the defensive trading I mentioned earlier. You can kind of get away. Arcane is so tanky right now because you have so many defensives. But as you get into better lobbies, like these little things, these little nuances will add up and cost you games in the long run. But overall, that was a pretty solid round. You got some sheeps on the disc priest, enemy disc priest, and did some decent burst goes. So, and I really like that you're barraging a lot to keep tempo stacks up with chrono shift and spell stealing as a filler. That's really good. So you kind of have like the basic feel down. I feel like see, so you get your spell steals off, you get a barrage, you pre-evo and you surge. Ooh, you did palm there first though. I noticed that you're sending your palm really early. Make sure you get your touch off, get your missiles as much as possible, then you send touch palm. Because otherwise, if you don't get those palms out with the buff on, it's gonna desync, right? So surge. I'm looking at your globals here. You palm, then you barrage. Okay, then you touch missiles. See how you're like sending one missiles and touch blasting? Send more missiles. Because right here, you have three stacks of clear casts. So prioritize getting as many of those out as possible before you send your touch palms or palm blasts, sorry. Because if you can free cast, you should really get all of these out because you'll generate more by getting your palm blasts out anyways. So really, you don't want to overcap on clear cast. So send these out. The only time where you wouldn't and send them out is when you can't free cast. But right now, you're fighting double melee and they're not even near you, right? So you could just get these out for free, and this would be hard crank, especially if you're playing time loop because you'd be getting maximum debilitation stacks here. You go for the sheep on priest off the silence, which I think gets death, or does he trinket it? Sheep him. Okay, he trinkets it. That's fine. It's really good. Okay, you're doing big cranks here. Again, you're doing so much damage anyways, but it would be min-max a little more if you sent those missiles first. But you're getting a lot of missiles out right now. It's good. You're not you dumped all your clear casts on the feral. There's diffuse magic and skin, and maybe you got karma too. I'm not sure. You do get PS. You're getting a lot of cooldowns here. You blink DB. You don't have CS for this clone, unfortunately. And right here, I also like that you're getting arcane blasts out because that's something not a lot of mages do. But when you have 4 charges and you can free cast, it's good to get arcane blasts if you're trying to min-max damage. So that's good. You have 5 stacks of tempo, which actually fall here. I would recommend, yeah, I mean, you don't need to do this, but I think it's a good idea to have a weak aura for your 5 stacks of tempo as well, somewhere like around here. So that way you make sure they don't fall off. Because right here, if you saw this, you would probably barrage before you send your shift, right? If we're trying to min-max the haste advantage from the arcane tempos. But this is a good shift because like all your offensives are on CD. And now let's take a look. You did do your surge, touch, palm go, right? First go. And now your surge is on CD, but your touch and palm's coming up. So this is going to be your second burst window soon. You already have 2 clear casts as well. So it's looking good for the second burst window. We did get juked right there, I think, on this clone. Okay, he feared at the same time. That's why. At this point, I think either target's fine, but I would just go feral because I'm not sure if the monk karma'd. Again, like I said earlier, you should really track defensive cooldowns because if you see, okay, monk has no karma, no diffuse here, maybe you can go him, or feral has no big wall or renewal or whatever. But at this point, I think I'd go feral because I don't think he has many cooldowns. And if your team needs peels, you can actually sheep the Windwalker and peel the Windwalker a lot easier. Whereas the feral, you can't do that, right? So let's see. I think you try to go for a sheep here, which you land really good. Now you can touch. Okay, you barrage, you touch, good. Again, I really like that you barrage first to reset your stacks. Get rees, big cranks here. Good knock. That's exactly what I would have done there too. Or I would DB then knock, but I don't think you had DB for 2 seconds, so that's perfect. Then I would DB here. Okay, PS'd. Not bad, not bad. We're definitely forcing a lot of CDs right now. Let's see. Now it's their go on you. Let's see how you trade. Boom, you press greater invis first, I noticed again. So ideally send your mirror images first. 25% damage reduct and alter. Use your greater invis last because it should be your oh shit button. Yeah, they don't have a lot of CDs left though, so I like that you're not forcing CC, but going for it right before your burst if it's possible. Like right here, for example, yeah, mirror image, yeah, there you go. We missed CS there again. It's all good. We got full cloned. Now we have all our CDs back. We have Surge, Touch, Palm. So we're gonna Evo. Unless you're trying to sheep. It's gonna be really hard. Versus a good priest here, you're gonna have to go through Fade, Death, and Monk Kick and Incap. So it's gonna be really hard to get a sheep here, but you bait the Fade, you get the Surge off. There you go. Touch, Max Crank. Get those missiles out. Get those missiles out. Yeah, more missiles, more missiles. There you go. 3 missiles in a row. You full sheep. Now palm blasts. Oh, can you see how your palm is desynced right here? Like you should have palm with your touch right now, but you're missing out on a lot of damage because it got desynced. Probably because you didn't use both palm stacks earlier. Little things like this matter a lot because that could potentially close out the game. 2 big palm blasts into a more clear cast from it, right? Also, when you are cranking like this, try to keep some distance. It's good you're getting missiles out here, but you know you could get kicked by the monk or something. So I would maybe move up here a little bit and then channel from up here. Yeah, just move away. Send those missiles out. Get a full sheep, which you force trinket. Good. You land the CS. You get see you can maybe like avoid the clone if you're like back a little bit more, right? I would alter here. Good. Good alter. We missed DB. See, it hurts my soul to see palm and touch so desynced right here. This is like palm value you're losing out on. Little things like that matter, right? We get a full sheep though. We get stunned. All your defensives are on CD right now except for block. You juke kick, really good. So you get a half sheep. We're going monk here. That's totally fine. He karmas though. See, this is where I think Pharaoh would have been a better target because at this point, your SP has no D, your priest has no PSs, no swap, no dome. I feel like going feral is really the safer pick here because I think he has nothing and the monk's still at karma and you can sheep the monk off your SP if he really needs it here to peel and slow down the game while closing out the game yourself because they don't have any cooldowns either. But then I think we sent your touch into the monk which had karma, which was definitely not like the most min-max target in this scenario. Karma and wall actually. Whereas I think Feral had nothing. It's just, again, hard to tell since you're not tracking defensives. If you're serious about climbing, though, again, I'd recommend you get Omnibar or like make a second Omnibar or use like Sweepy Boop, Sweepy Helper or something like that to track macro CDs. That was a close game, though. That was a really close game. I just think if target, because see, Monk also had diffuse back. I think target choice was the biggest issue there, and also just not min maxing your crank. But it wasn't that bad at all. It was very close. Send the next round. So again here, I like usually versus ranged melee. I like to start the range and pressure the range to see if I can get anything going, and then if I'm the main target and I'm getting pressured a lot, that's when I choose to just kite and hit the closest target, which will be the melee if he's going me, right? So right here, I will try to start the SP would be my game plan. Because who knows, you might get dispersed in the opener, right? Getting your barrages out, I like that. I would get my Evo off here. Okay, looks like they're going you, so let's see what happens. There's Evo. Shimmer away to get it, guaranteed. Okay, getting your surge off, good. Yeah, you can totally just send the feral here, that's fine. Let me check your globals here again on the bottom left corner. So you barrage, after you surge, you touch. So I noticed you touch and palm together. Try to palm after you've sent all your missiles or close to all of them. Because what happens is if you get CC'd or kicked, now your palm's going to be forced to be desynced. Whereas if you get really AIDS, you can actually just end up not palming, so you'll just have it for the next touch. You know what I mean? Because if you palm this early, you are hard committing your palm. But again, you could get kicked into CCs and get max AIDS, and your palm will get desynced. So don't overcommit your palm so early. You force PS on the Pharaoh though, which is good. Getting blasts out, you do get feared. Oh yeah, prioritize spell stealing this PI. There you go. You get it. Get your barrages out. I would shift everything back. Perfect. Good. Get half feared. At this point, I would try to juke death. Good. See how because the priest is you're playing in between their healer, and since you altered back here, you're playing in between their healer and their DPS. So this is a perfect time to just like cast sheep to 90%. Maybe you baited death, cast sheep to 90% again, bait a fate, and then you can maybe get a full sheep to force a trinket. Just due to where everything's positioned right now, it's good to attempt that, right? Which you are doing right here after you shift, which is very good. You cast sheep, you bait death, cast sheep again. You bait fade. Now you can full sheep here. He has no fade or death. He ult DPs. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. You have touch palm coming back soon here, so it's gonna be your big go here. You CS clone, which is really good. There's no okay. You touch. There's our go. Palm blast. Make sure you palm blast. Yeah, you got both those out. Your touch and palm are only desynced by like 8 seconds right now, which is pretty normal, I'd say. 8 seconds is fine. It just gets bad when it hits like the 20-second mark of the desync, right? Um, your monk still has karma. Your priest has no PSs though. This is going okay though, because you have your surge, your big go coming up now. Your second surge this round. So we just have to do a clean go here. Juke kicks. Don't force any CC right now. Good altar. I would mirror image again. I feel like you're very conservative with your mirror image and mass barriers. So like, try to send these. Like your half HP, your team's dying. You really gotta put these on cooldown. It's a lot of damage reduction and mitigation that you're missing out on at the moment. Take a lot of stress off your healer, you know, and don't fall behind as much. You're definitely like prioritizing greater invis. Let me write that down on the notepad. Um, defensive trading. Hold on, let me do this too. Min max pump here. Defensive trading. Let's say altar first. Altars, because like higher altars are better value, right? So generally altar first, and then it's gonna be your Purse barrier, mirror image next. Because Pierce barrier is like situational, right? You want to press this to proc your OP barrier, but it's kind of going to be situational because you want to time it with burst. Whereas mirror image, you kind of press it a little more preemptively. And then obviously like shimmers and displace in between that. Let's do a displacement because displacement's a good port, but it also heals you for like 10% of your HP. And then greater invis last, and then block obviously. So this is how you kind of want to trade, generally speaking. Again, it's situational, but a lot of times I see you alter, which is good, but then you skip all of these steps and you go straight to this, this is a lot of stuff you could have. Oh yeah, also mass barrier too. It's a lot of steps you're skipping to min-max your damage reduction to help your healer not have to overtrade. Let's see, we do our surge go here now. We pre-evo, that's good. You're actually so close to min-maxing your crank every time. It's good. You're keeping your arcane tempo stacks up. You're pre-evoing. You're getting your surge off. You're getting your touch off. Just like it starts falling off when your palm gets desynced and you're not sending all your missiles to get max debilitation stacks. So that's where like it's not being fully min-maxed. But prior to that, it seems like you got the basic idea, which is really good. Again, it's really kind of hard to spectate because I can't see enemy CDs. And it's hard to see everything that's going on when I'm looking at a UI I'm not used to, right? So let's put that in the notes too. Consider tracking enemy defensive CDs on a separate omnibar. It will help with target choices. Mid to late game, right? See who's the best target in that moment. And then also consider making arcane tempo stacks weak aura as well. Little things like that, you know? At this point, your team's kind of out of cooldowns. And I think they still have swap and stuff too. Both swaps. Could be wrong though. At this point, I would just try to hit the feral. There's a one swap and dome. You have touch coming back up with palm, so you have like a mini go here, which you send really good. This is where ice wall is really nice too, by the way, because maybe you could place an ice wall here because the feral's overextended. And then if you see the enemy healer casting MD, you can cancel the wall and CS the MD and score the kill. Just as an example. Little plays you could make with that. They still have PS. Yeah, your team is just super behind on cooldowns this game. Which, oh, maybe you can clutch up, but nah, it's gonna be, yeah, a loss right there. It just, yeah, being a little bit behind on cooldowns. I think again you can trade a little better, mass barrier for your teammates. Um, if you are going feral, maybe sheep the priest more, SP more. But I mean, that was not a bad game. It's just little things. This definitely could be like a scenario where you're 3-0ing. It just these little things add up a lot, right? All right, now you're fighting SP Windwalker. See what happens. Get your barrages out, spell steals, your fillers, very good. Careful stacking for the sweep. Alter, good alter. I wouldn't even trinket this since you pre-altered it anyways and no one's in range to purge you. Good. Good patience on the trinket. Get the surge off. Okay, he clones, so you should alter back. Touch the priest instantly right now. The SP, touch him. Wait, let's see. Oh, you touched into the clone. Okay, that's unfortunate. I didn't realize that. So you surge. Yeah, you needed to see this clone right here. You didn't see the clone, so you touched into it 1 second into the clone. Definitely not ideal. But we're sending missiles into SP. I'll try to sheep this bash because it's free. He silences you. You get PS. Good. At this point, I would just sheep the Windwalker. Slow down the game. Sheep the Windwalker because you force PS anyways. Good sheep. See, like, you have the right mindset. I would try to get PI off here now. At this point, I would just try to commit the priest because, like, he's actually in the middle of the map. He's in a good spot for you to crank him. You shifting power all your CDs back. Good. You can even look to maybe mass barrier your teammate. Mirror image yourself. Again, like, I wouldn't be mirroring right now, like 3 globals ago for big damn reduc. Full sheep Windwalker. Good. There's another PS. Okay, now you're very ahead on cooldowns this game. You guys still have Dome. Both PSs swap. You haven't traded really anything right now. So this is looking like a really good round. It's like the opposite of last game. You're sending your big missiles. You get half swept. Again, you need to mass barrier and mirror image sooner. You're like, you've altered, which is good. You just got to do this next step now, right? To min-max your defensive trading. Way too conservative with mirror images. Way too conservative. It's a 50-second cooldown, man. If you look at these talents here. So this 2-minute cooldown, right? But this talent, mirror image cooldown was reduced by 10 seconds whenever a mirror image dissipates due to direct damage. So every time you get taken by a big hit, one of your mirror images disappears, but it reduces the hit damage by 25% because of this. So that's 50 seconds off your mirror image. Which, so instead of it being 2 minutes, it's 1 minute, 10 seconds, but then you shifting power all of it too. Like right now, all these mirrors would be dissipated and the CD of your mirrors would be at 40 seconds right now. So just, yeah, don't be so greedy with that button. Helps with slowing down enemy team momentum, right? But regardless, this round is going really well. It's looking like you're going to win it so far. You have your, now you have your third go. You have your surge, touch, and palm is desynced again. You see that? You want to have your palm CD be as close to your touch as possible. So make sure to send those palms. But anyways, regardless, your third go is coming up here. I would have tried to sheep this bash, by the way. He gets the clone anyways. Good. I would just try to get my surge off here on anybody, but then touch the SP. The SP still has no disperse, so like you really want to get your touch on him right now with the surge. There's a surge. There's a barrage. There's a touch. Here it comes. Missiles. There, you locked him. Super good. Ooh, I would have tried knocking that. Oh, yeah, I think you did try. I'm going back. Oh, okay. I think you knock air there. Oh, no, you do knock him. You do knock him. That's good. Big missiles. Palm blast. There's swap. Okay. Really good. Again, your palm's getting desynced again, by the way. I think almost every round I've watched, your palm is getting very desynced. So really try to work on that. You score the kill anyways. Yeah, this is really good, though. You guys were really ahead this game. And yeah, let me just type here. Make sure not to desync your palm with touch of Magi. Only press palm once you've sent the amount of all the missiles possible, which sometimes could only be one clear cast stack. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4 or 5, depending on how lucky you are with procs. But try to send them and then palm, so they don't desync up. Remember that palm only goes on CD after you've used both charges. So yeah, just really keep that in mind. It's very detrimental to your long-term damage. That was not bad though. See how like you started SP, you forced a bunch of cooldowns on him, you slowed the game down by sheeping the Windwalker, and then you actually full committed to SP and won the game. Rather than, I would have been really upset if you touched the Windwalker there instead, and then he just diffuses and karmas and stuff when you can close out the game on SP. So it was a good commitment by you. Again, tracking defenses will help with that. Nice CS. You trinket first global, get your Evo off. Yeah, really look to time your Priz barriers more too, because then with the OP barrier talent, you get the free blink, cloak, vanish, invis, right? Which will actually help you get more sheeps and your surges off. So look to time that a little more with mirror image. It'll go a long way. Oh, triple sweep, surge. Let's see what happens here. You barrage. Who do you touch? Okay, you touch SP. I respect it. Missiles, missiles. Yeah, again, get those missiles out before you palm blast. You're missing a lot of arcane to build damage. You do force PS though. It's good. At this point, I would like, as soon as he PS, since he's still high HP, I would just tab the Feral and send 2 of my other clear casts on the Feral. He does get feared, I guess. At this point, you can like shift all your CDs back, I guess. You full sheep that disc. That's good. You force trinket. Really good. Decent momentum this game again. I would mirror image here as the Feral connects to me. Mirror image, mirror image, mirror image. Okay, you get a free invis blink. Shift all your CDs back. Good, good. Barrage the Feral here to reset your stacks. Okay, good. You land a CS. Getting free blast off. I like it. Full sheep. The enemy priest should fade or death that in my opinion, but ooh, the little war stomp play, yeah? The full fear. He wills. This is good. We sent our second touch right here. Our palm is not desync this time. We like to see that. Yeah, just keep barraging, keep spell stealing. Try to knock them here. Spread them out. Again, don't be so greedy with your mass barrier, your mirror image. You should press it right now. Mirror image, mass barrier. Your third go is coming up with your Surge Palm Blasts. Surge Touch Palm Blasts. And I think you just SP still at this point. There's Dome. Blast Wave, good. It's crazy to me you still haven't pressed mirror images or mass barrier this round. Like, imagine you pressed it early in the game, you would have a second round of mirror images right now. So it'd be 25% damage reduct for 10 big hits by this point, right? Like, and then it's crazy you have to even block here because you didn't do the priority order properly, right? Block should be last. You had mass barrier, you had mirror image, and then if you traded these properly, you would live long enough for your second/third altar to rotate back up. Also, I don't see you utilizing displacement that much. It is on CD right now, though, but just little things you can min-max for sure. Okay, so right now you don't have any offensive CDs. So like it's good to just play slow here. Spam spell steal. Don't position in the open. Barrage slow everything to give yourself chrono shift speed boost. You do force a PS and disperse here now. You do shift back all your offensive cooldowns and defensives. It's good. Oh, okay. Yeah, your priest died with PS, but a little unfortunate. A little messy game, but again, these are all such close games. You could slow down the game so much by trading a little cleaner. But yeah, your priest shouldn't have died there. You did have PS, but it's gonna happen, right? It's solo shuffle. You surge really early, good. At this point, you can crank into skin. By the way, skin is, especially if they're already like half HP. Yeah, skin is not like diffuse magic. You can definitely crank through it, which is good. You're cranking through it right now. Get your missiles out. Oh, you're playing Ice Wall now. Okay, okay, I see you. He goes for the MD. So this is something I started doing lately. Is because Priest can MD the Ice Wall, right? I will put the Ice Wall down, and then like right here, as he's MDing, I'll cancel the Ice Wall by pressing the Ice Wall keybind again and insta CS the MD, and then I'll stop him from pressing like Dome and PS and Penance, and then you max trank the kill target, and then maybe you get a swap for free because swaps on Shadow School, right? Something cheeky you can look for if you are playing Ice Wall. Nice, silence of the sheep. Feral has no skin, so you can crank him. You do have shift, but there was no really window to press it so far. Right here, now that you did get PS though, I would look to maybe blink back here and shift. Find this pillar and shift for free back there, because then you can instantly send a touch palm go again. Your touch palm is not desynced this time. Again, I would mass barrier for my homie right here. Maybe help him out a little bit. Oh, Monk is dying. I would still commit the Feral right now, though. You can even, like, utilize pings. Like, right now, I would, like, ping the Feral to make sure the SP is awake. Again, help your homie out with the mass barrier. Maybe even sheep the Windwalker right now on his CDs to slow down the game. Sheep the Windwalker, ping the Feral, right? Slow down the game. It kind of sucks that your priest had to PS you and dome you, because this is all cooldowns that could be used for your SP, right? Because you still had mirror image and block and alter. Definitely not like, don't want him to use it on you right now. It just becomes a little awkward if you guys are splitting damage. And even if you do ship to one walker, it gets like insta broke, right? At least you have Surge, Touch Palm. You have all your bursts now, so you can actually look to close out the game here soon. The enemy team doesn't have many CDs either. You get the sheep. Oh, you should try to sheep this too, by the way. This it's called Sin and Punishment. Whenever you healer dispels Vampiric Touch, they get Horde for 3 seconds. You could sheep off that for free a lot. So right there, you probably would have gotten it. And the priest has no trinket, so you could have done that and maybe got the surge off and we'll close out the game right here. Just little things to recognize. You get the sheep anyways. You get quarter cloned. He deathed your poly, I think. There's sound. Okay, you pre-wall and blink through. Okay, touch the Feral. Yeah, big crank here. Get all your missiles out before you barrage. See how you're barraging early. Use all your stacks there if possible. Juke if you need to during it. Your blasts. Big cranks here. We did stack for fear, a little awkward. We blocked the peel, yeah. Yeah, so the Feral ended up 6-0ing this lobby, okay. So yeah, I think it really just comes down to these things I mentioned. Min-maxing your damage, min-maxing your defensive trading. Because what happens is your healer, let's say they're going this game they're going your SP, right? But then they tap target you for a moment, and then your priest overtrades PS and dome on you, which is not something you want. You want your disc priest to be trading everything on your disc, and you want to be trading all your buttons right here to save yourself. So just min-maxing the damage and the defensives would have probably netted you at least 5 dubs in this lobby. Considering 3 of the games, the losses were so close. But I think you really do have the general idea down. It's just like cleaning things up and being a little more conscious about your cooldowns. But honestly, not bad. I do think you could easily hit 2400 if you just try to work on these things. We can go through this next game now. I feel like I could be reviewing this a lot easier if I could track the defenses better. So I apologize if it's missing a bit of info, but doing my best here. Now we got BM Hunter, Dev Evoker, Windwalker. So it's a triple range lobby with 1 melee. So this should be a little bit annoying for the Windwalker. See what happens here. Okay, we surge the pet. That's good. I respect that. That's good. You don't need to surge the kill target. You can surge anything, even totems, just to get the buff up. Cranking the hunter, I like that. Like I said earlier, ideally I like to start the range to see if I can get some stuff going. You don't want like the range to play for free, especially if they're a caster. Oh, okay, you just max cranked him. Let's watch that part back real quick. Let's see the global usage here. So you get your surge up on the pet, you touch, missiles, blast, blast, missiles, missiles, barrage, barrage, missiles. See, by the way, like I mentioned earlier with time loop, you see these arcane debilitation stacks? There's 24 right there. If you're playing time loop, this could be even higher, like 40 right now. That's 40% increased damage on all your abilities. So think about that. Think about all the damage you're losing by not playing that talent, right? But in terms of rotation, it was good. You're chaining those missiles. I think at one point you got 3 missiles out at once. That's what you want to be doing. And juking kicks. Also, by the way, if you don't have a stop casting keybind already, I highly recommend doing that. Going down from key bindings, go to miscellaneous and bind it to something. It's 10 on my Naga for me, but it'll be really good to have a button to stop casting because you can't juke by moving as an Arcane Mage, right? Because missiles you move while channeling, so. That was big crank though. This pre should have like PS or domed him. He kind of made a mistake, but you capitalize on others' mistakes. That's the whole point of shuffle, right? Same thing here. Okay, you're fighting Dev VM now. I would try to do the same thing. Go Hunter and then just sheep the Dev. The thing about Dev is the range on their abilities. They are ranged, but the range on them is a lot shorter, so they have to play in a lot more. But they're also quite tanky because they have 2 walls and a permanent freedom with hover. So I think I would just sheep the Dev because he'll be easy to sheep because he's in your face a lot more because the range on his abilities are shorter. Control and slow down the game because Devs crank really hard and try to hit the BM Hunter. I think that's what I would try to do initially to get the game going. And then obviously, depending on what's happening, you might have to change the way you're playing. That's good. Good. You sheep the Dev. Exactly what I wanted here. You Evo. Good. You force Ross. You try to resheep, but he's out of line. He gets fear, which he trinkets. That's good. You get the surge off on this guy. Ooh, but then you crank the Dev here. He does wall all your damage. You are cranking through decently. I feel like I would have sent this damage on the Hunter instead of the Dev, but because then you would have gotten like a Priest PS or Dome, I think. But that's fine. It's not the worst. Definitely not the worst. You're just like hitting closest, right? Which is generally a fine thing to do. Your palm didn't desync. Look how beautiful that is. Your palm is 8 seconds. Your touch is 5. This is how you want it to be every single time, not a 20-second desync. So far, this like the games on this, the rounds on this game doing a lot better than the other Mugambala. So now you touch the Hunter off CD. Imagine that first touch was sent on this Hunter too. You would have forced these walls and PSs earlier, but it's fine. You are cranking. You're min-maxing your damage right now. Every surge touch palm go in this map has been almost perfect in terms of like putting them on CD. And your mirror image is even on CD right now. And see how it's already coming back up even though the game just kind of started? I feel like you're playing a lot better this game. It's like you're hearing my coaching live right now. Okay, there's second mirror image. You mirror image again. Now you have your second surge go, aka third touch go here. You end up blocking. Oof. I mean, this is a lot of damage. Their enemy comp is a lot of damage. I would, again, try to slow down the game by sheeping the Dev more. Okay, you're kind of recovering. I would even DB the Dev here. Oh, you don't have DB? Oh, man. Oh, that's really unfortunate. When you die like that, when you have your second surge come up, I think just trading as a whole for your team could have been a lot better, but now again, sheeping the Dev, slowing down the game a little earlier, and then cranking as much damage to the Hunter to make the Hunter play more scared, so he's less likely to push in. But Dev is just gonna crank in your face all game with wall up, just how they play the game. So that's like a mistake I've made many times as well, not sheeping the Dev enough. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, alter first, good trade. Blink away, good. Okay, you proc your OP barrier, so your next blink is an invis, good. Getting your barrages out. I'll try to get my surge up here now. Nice, good. Look at you go. You get kicked. I would OP barrier here. OP barrier mirror image. OP barrier mirror image. I would press those before I descend my touch go. Because your surge lasts 15 seconds, right? Your surge lasts a long time. So you have time to press some damage mitigation. So that way, while you're bursting, their burst is being mitigated. That's the best thing to do. You did press greater invis though, but again, the other two would be better because your OP barrier would break and you get a invis blink, right? Which will help you channel some freer missiles. Oh, you end up porting out of the dome. Not ideal. It's okay though. It seems like you're pretty safe. You did mirror image a little late, but you got it off. Again, don't be so greedy with OP barrier. The damage crank was okay. You're forcing CDs. Shifting your CDs back. See, like, things are flowing pretty decently. One thing I noticed you're doing really well is you are remembering to pressure shifting power as soon as, or before your second go. So you're shifting your second touch palm back very consistently. So good job on that. Getting the CDR value, that's very important, right? Again, OP barrier here. OP mass barrier. And then I would like displace maybe. There's no way you have to block right now. There's no way you have to give them your ice block. You have mirror image coming back up too. Oh, OP barrier. Oh. So you need to OP barrier, and then you would live a little long enough to maybe get a free invis blink with OP barrier, mass barrier, and your second mirror image was back up. So it kind of sucks that you die without blocking, but like in a perfect world, you wouldn't even have to block there. You feel me? Because you also had Priz barrier back up there too, I think. Let's go back. Yeah, you just got locked on Arcane. It's good to send those damage mitigation buttons before you attempt to cast. So even if you do get kicked, at least you have damage mitigation up. Same thing here. I would try to push on the Hunter, slow down the game with Sheeps on the Monk. But if they do go you and you don't have many defensives, you blink backwards, hit closest. Okay, getting Evo off. Get your Surge off. Good. I do prefer going Hunter over Windwalker here. Because Windwalker Diffuse and Karma cooldown does a really decent job at mitigating Arcane Mage burst. Because it lines up with your burst a lot. Whereas Hunter... I feel like Hunter's a better target overall here. But that's alright. Getting free Arcane Blast off. Again, don't try to cast Arcane Blast unless you have at least 2 or 3 charges. Because the cast is slower and it hits for like nothing. So just keep that in mind. A better filler would just be Barrage or Spell Steal there. You have OP Barrier, you have Mirror Image. Let's not be greedy. You have Alter too, which you can stall by pressing the other buttons while you get top, so you get a full Alter. Okay, there's OP Barrier, good. AK Mass Barrier. I think you forced the fuse on the Monk last go, so it's good to hit him. I think he still has Karma though, I could be wrong. You force a PS. Your second big go with Surge Touch Palms coming back up. Looks like your Touch of Magi and Palm got desynced again here. I would Mirror Image here, and I would start casting Evo as well, so you can start looking to do your second Surge go. Good Evo. Barrage, get your tempo stacks up. You have 0 tempo stacks right now. Want to spam Barrage more. Having that weak aura would help here. Then we send our go on the Monk. Okay, we touch first into Surge. Let's see what happens here. I guess Monk doesn't have Karma. Either that or he's being really greedy with it. Yeah, good Nova on the pets. It's really good to Nova pets, Blast Wave pets. Get swept with no trinket. Good grip from your priest. I would look to Ring of Frost this. Ring of Frost the sleep. There's the fuse again. Nice War Stomp. I would look to read the sleep though on the healer. This could potentially help you close out the game because he slept for 6 seconds and he has no trinket. And you have Ring of Frost. So it's good because he's being slept and he's walking this way. So it's good to, out of the sweep, to attempt to cast a ring right here. And if you do get kicked, because they have one kick, they have one kick, you can then instantly sheep. So you get kicked Frost School, you cast Arcane School with sheep, and then you would most likely get this sheep on the healer here. And you can kill through Karma or Diffuse or whatever. So I think you really should have attempted that ring. You got it for sure, actually, there. Unless you had Incap, too. But, yeah, they don't have many cooldowns left either. You guys still have 1 PS and swap and block and mirror image. And you have it up almost 80% of the time. Gotta press it more. Gotta press it more. Sheep this stun. Well, maybe it would have broken anyways. You're just cleaving them. You're blending them right now. Blending them. Keep barraging to get your stacks up. There's Karma again. Maybe you kill through. Or you could swap the Hunter, either or. Oh, there's no way they live this, right? There's Turtle. They have nothing left. You sheep him low. Yeah, you should die here. Nice. Surge. Again, I would probably hitting the ranged here. I don't know why, but it just feels so much better hitting the ranged early game and sheeping the melee. It just stops them from getting so much momentum off of you, right? But I mean, they're both getting cranked here. This is good. You force walls from both targets. You shift power all your CDs back. I would press mirror image here, which you do this time. Very good. Get those barrages out. You're lacking tempo stacks right now. Make sure you're spamming more barrages. And instead of just spamming barrage on one target, barrage the dev, and then barrage the windwalker, and then barrage the disc, so they all get slowed, right? Chrono shift slow on everything. Make it aids for them. You force dome and PS. There's a full trap. Good. Also, yeah, when you're playing with the hunter, you don't have to go for sheep as much, unless they're just full training your hunter, because the hunter can trap, and it's a lot easier to hit traps than polys, right? So like, just focus on max ranking closest here at this point, since they both have no walls. This is like pretty decent momentum from you guys. So just, yeah, focus on doing damage. I would maybe even sheep the def here at this point, because he's in your face, and then we hit the Windwalker. Just to slow down the game a bit. Oh, and then your hunter dies without turtling. And you guys had dome and PS, so that's kind of a big yikes, actually. But, you know, help them out by slowing down the game there. But, I mean, that's not really your fault. Type this down. Try to, oh yeah. Try to keep 5 tempo stacks as much as possible. And spam barrage on multiple targets to keep the chrono shift slow up. Last round. Let's get Evo up here. Again here, you're going to go to the hunter and sheep the dev more. Sheep him again here. Good. One more sheep on the dev here. I would right here. The priestess spelled the sheep here, I think, on the dev, right? Or he trinketed. So I would sheep the trinket and then instantly start casting surge on this dev right here. Since like, unless he gets a spell, he's forced to sit this poly now. So it'd be like sheep and the next global surge on the dev. Even though you're going hunter, just to get the surge off, and then you can counter pressure by touching the hunter, right? And then I would even like DB the drive-by DB the dev right here as I get surge off, and then chase the hunter. Yeah, I did exactly what you did there, but you could have squeezed in a free surge right here, right? Let's watch that back. So you juke kick, which is really good. You sheep. Okay, sheep him again. Surge him. DB him, and then blink, alter, blink in. Alter at full HP, blink into the hunter, and touch him and crank him, and then maybe CS the penance or something. That's something. See, you actually do surge here now. But again, I think this damage should be on the hunter, in my opinion. But you force wall and PS anyway, so it's okay. But I found like gas pedaling hunters is really effective, I found. Because otherwise, if you're not pressuring them, they're by default gonna out pressure you, and you're gonna fall behind because you're a mage and they're a hunter. It's like the best way to counter a hunter is to actually pressure them even harder. But during the right windows, right? Like when you actually have damage, not just play in their face for no reason. We are sheeping the dev more, which is good, but a little awkward because we sent our damage on him. I feel like you could have forced more from the hunter, like walls and exil, and maybe even a turtle. But they have one PS left and a dome, I believe. I would sheep the dev here and hit the hunter. Devs are just so tanky. Hunters are for sure squishier. There's second PS from them. At this point, again, remember like earlier from the first round, there's going to be scenarios where you're playing in between their DPS and healer. You're playing in between them. So at this point, they don't even have kicks right now. Dev might have kick. I don't know how accurate the dev kick is for you on your Omnibar, but it's good to cast sheep here to 90%. Beta fade, cast sheep to 90% again, beta death, and then cast sheep, and maybe you connect it, and then you force priest trinket here. And meanwhile, you have your Priz barrier up or something, or mass barrier while doing all of that. So right here, it would have been good to try to sheep the priest here, just because of the positioning. Also, are you tracking death on your Omnibar? I'm not 100% sure if you are, but if you're not, you should do that. And fade as well. I'll write that down. Track death, shadow word, death, and fade on your Omnibar if you already. I might be blind, but I don't feel like I've seen it. I could be blind though. We have Surge Touch coming back up. Should be sent on the Hunter. We send the block. We do overlap swamp and block. We sheep the dev. Hunter turtles. They have like nothing left but swap here too now. You can just close the game out by hitting the Hunter here with your Surge, as long as you don't get kicked. He feigns it. So right there, it'd be good to like sheep the dev and Surge the dev so the Hunter can't feint your Surge. But you get it off here, you should actually win the game here. They have like nothing. Cranking through all TP. Get your missiles out. Missiles. Oh, don't sheep, just do missiles and juke. Ah, okay. So that's a dev 6-0. Yeah, so every matchup's obviously different, but I think the biggest thing from this lobby would just be sheeping the dev, slowing down the game, and sending your damage not on the dev, but his partner. But yeah, overall, I really think you're not playing bad at all, and you have a good idea of like all the basics. It's just that your target choices are a little wrong sometimes, and you're trading and damage is not full cranked. So if you just work on those things, I can guarantee you could hit 2400 this season and push a legend. I can guarantee it. Just with like your starting point is already at a solid line. So yeah, let's try to work on these things, and I bet you will climb like 200 points if you just do these things a little cleaner. 300 points. I promise you that.